Good morning, afternoon, and or evening, trainers. Part 2 of Worst Pokemon Pets coming right up. You guys seem to really enjoy the last one, so thank you so much for the support, and let's get into it. Check out the first one too if you haven't seen it. You're going to the adoption center, or perhaps your backyard, to try to find a snuggly companion to be a nice lapdog, maybe a playful friend that would play fetch with you, or just be a loving companion. While picking out your first Pokemon pet, be wary of the Pokemon species, temperament, power, and intelligence, and maybe think about its moveset too. Here are some more Pokemon you should avoid keeping as a pet. Keep in mind, trainers, I mean a Pokemon meant as a house pet, not a formidable battle companion. Snorlax. Snorlax is one of my favorite Pokemon. Unfortunately, it probably wouldn't be a very good pet. Despite it being the Game Freak version of Totoro, this fuzzy, warm, ginormous puffball may be a bit too big. See, if you don't have the spare space to accommodate its 7-foot-tall, 1,000-pound self, you're probably gonna have a bad time. It's gonna keep growing, and although it just eats and sleeps, what are you gonna do? Shove it in a corner? And it makes a lot of noise while sleeping. Its snores can sound similar to its cries, which, well, they sound like this. By the way, it needs at least 880 pounds of food every single day. You'd be spending most of your money on food for it. May as well let your kids starve, and yourself. At least it's good with kids. Garbodor. It's a giant pile of trash. While not as big as Snorlax, it's still a whopping 6 feet tall and 236 pounds, or 107 kilograms for people not in the Unova region. It's made of literal garbage, which decomposes and mixes to create a foul-smelling, viscous liquid that can then shoot out of their arm and kill weak things with. It seems pretty gentle as far as temperament goes, and it'll take care of your trash, but honestly, do you want a pet that leaks battery acid and smells like rotting fish? Okay, I could maybe see Garbodor as a pet you keep outside, but that's kinda sad, no? I'd feel so bad saying this, but Garbodor, smell you later. Diglett. Diglett has something in common with Garbodor here. Can you guys guess what it is? It's an outside pet. Diglett, in nearly every Pokédex entry, states that it is underground and prefers dark spaces. Wait a second. When it comes out of a Pokeball, does it just materialize as if it were already on the ground? I actually can't find reference of this, but I think that's how it works. If that is the case, though, it still makes no sense. You mean to tell me that the Pokeball just allows Diglett to no-clip into the ground? I'm going on a tangent here. Anyway, if a Diglett sees sun, it becomes weakened. That, and it lives underground. If you have dirt floors, I guess you're golden. Otherwise, save your carpet, don't get a Diglett. Enjoying the video so far? I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subs and complete the Pokédex with the help of you all. Every new subscriber earns a spot in the Pokédex, and your ace Pokemon corresponds to your sub number. Please interact with this video if you're enjoying it. Helps me make future content, and feel free to leave video suggestions in the comments. Okay, moving forward. Dusclops. I have a bias against this Pokemon. I have to come right out and say this guy just creeps me out. I don't know if you've ever seen its idle animation in any of the 3D games, but its grabby hands just make me extremely uncomfortable. Like, why do you need to be doing all that, Dusclops? In a less biased way, this Pokemon would suck as a house pet for a few key reasons. The Pokédex Pearl entry states, its body is hollow. It is said that those who look into its body are sucked into the void. Okay, so if you want to go into the void, I guess you can keep this one around, but also, Dusclops absorbs anything, however large the object may be. This Pokemon hypnotizes its foe by waving its hands in a macabre manner and bringing its single eye to bear. The hypnotized foe is made to do Dusclops' bidding. Alpha Sapphire's entry tells us the most, and also the worst. It'll hypnotize you against your will, and then force you to do its bidding. That's dark, Game Freak. Palossand. Similar to Diglett, but I hate sand. I'm not a big beach gal, believe it or not, so this Pokemon would never come near me. Ever. I'm sensing a theme, but I mean it's on brand, so can you blame me? It's made out of literal sand, so if you take it anywhere, there are bound to be multiple particles left about. Your house would literally be a dusty mess, and also, additional question, its Ultra Sun entry mentions that each grain of sand has a will of its own. That's nuts. Does this mean each grain is its own Pokemon? What if it accidentally gets swallowed or lost or swept away by wind or something? Can you only catch 1 grain of sand in a sand-sized grain of a Pokeball? I'm thinking too hard. That's a lot of wills and thus a lot of potential for arguing or disobedience. The worst thing is definitely the sand part, but it also eats people if you were curious. If they ever make a region based on Australia, they better have Palisand on the roster. Litwick. We have our 3rd ghost type in a row, guys. I'm sensing the worst Pokemon pets tend to be the ground and the ghost variety. Litwick is particularly terrifying due to the fact that the light that it shines is said to absorb the life energy of both people and Pokemon. Scarlet mentions this. The flame is usually out, but it starts shining when Litwick absorbs life force from people or Pokemon. But pray tell, fellow trainers, have you ever seen a Litwick without a flame? I suppose if the flame isn't there, this Pokemon might be safe, but wouldn't it then want to have its light shine? I wouldn't trust your life in its hands, especially if its purpose is to lead people into the afterlife. Jinx. This one just, it looks like a whole woman. Why do you want a Pokemon as a pet that looks like a middle-aged lady with a crazy bleach job and flowing red dress? They wiggle their hips seductively. I wish I was kidding. It'll apparently make you shake yours, too. You know, this one's not so much a bad pet on technicality, rather than it's just me absolutely choosing to dog on you if you want a Jinx. It almost feels wrong calling Jinx a pet. That's how human-like it is. I don't even know what to say anymore. This one's weird. Why does Jinx exist? Just don't have it as a pet. That's weird. Yeah, so with all these terrible Pokemon pets out of the way, what do you want to see next? What are some of the best pets you can think of? Do you want another worst pets video? Please, if you made it this far, consider a like or a sub. It helps more than you know. Keep on training.